All right, Mr. Bryan T. Let's talk about what we worked on this week, and making sure we're working on the three things. Remember, the three things that we're trying to work on always in our swing. The only time ever you ever work on it is if you're having trouble with direction, your trajectory, or your trajectory control, which could be obviously your curve or height and low. So you got your distance control, your trajectory, and then obviously your direction. So what's going on here is that you came in struggling with the golf ball, overdrawing, not getting your distance that you like, and just really struggle controlling your curvature and trajectory. You pretty much had all three that you were struggling with. So we narrowed it down to basically two or three things. We kind of had an idea in terms of what we were doing with our swing shape, overall what the feel of the club head's doing. We had overall feel of what our body was doing in terms of our right arm on the backswing and our head on the through swing. So what we noticed there is that you were taking the club way too far to the inside with kind of no wrist set, and the club face was not kind of being ideal for what you're trying to do, hitting relatively straight and not a lot of curve. So take it here on the right. Look at this real quick. Again, I'm not going to draw too many lines. We're just going to take it back. So where your old backswing is here. Really no wrist set. Club face really shut behind you deep. No right arm really loaded, and obviously no wrist set in terms of the right wrist or left wrist. Just kind of a little bit of bend back there, but not a whole lot going on. Other than that, everything I thought looked pretty decent. You weren't really kind of dipping down too much. You had a good hip turn, good stable right knee. Wasn't hyperextended. Wasn't maintaining too much flex. Everything else looked pretty solid, right? But we had some issues going on from here. So what we addressed is that we talked about this right arm not getting so deep, so far behind you. Kind of feeling like it was loading more and getting a lot more left wrist hinge and a little bit more right wrist hinge, kind of get the sensation. So ideally, here's a decent backswing here. The club head was obviously working a little bit too far to the inside. We weren't really addressing that too much. The club head was okay there. Wasn't kind of crazy. I was more worried about what happened back here and at the top. So again, there's our old one. Now we take it back to this new one here. This is where I had that sensation of you where you felt like your arm was kind of getting to a point depth-wise, but then you had it feeling like you were actually having it only work up and not necessarily kind of deep anymore. So you had the sensation from here that the club, or the right arm, excuse me, was more working up in that direction and not necessarily worried about it kind of going too far behind you in this direction. All right, so to you, this felt like you were swinging really vertical, even though it wasn't. But this helped you kind of get your left shoulder, maintaining having down, but making sure the club's not getting too deep for your shot, especially if you like how you say you like hitting more of a fade. So with that sensation now of you kind of feeling that right arm staying just a touch more in front, a little better left wrist set and a little better right wrist set, you can see the difference in where that club's going to be at the top of our backswing now. So again, just draw a line here from the above the club down. All right, see the differences here. All right, one butt of club's really far behind the heels, the other one's more in the middle. Get rid of that. Look at the left arm compared to the shoulders, let's say, speaking wise. There are shoulders. And here's our left arm. All right, so pretty close to ideal. Start looking at what the right arm is doing. Right now the right arm is a lot more underneath our club. Over here on the right arm doesn't have as much bend. It's not supporting that club as much. And also you can see the difference between your shoulder line and your arm line. Left arm's a lot lower than your chest over there. Now, that's fine and dandy, right? We could have sit there and fixed that, but again, that's not really ideal for someone that wants to hit it, a lot less curvature from right to left, so we minimize that. So that's what we did on the backswing. You got to clean that up a bunch. We got you a touch higher, left arm matching the shoulder with a little bit steeper pitch and a lot more wrist set with kind of more feeling in the wrist a little bit and obviously feeling a little bit different with the right arm. So that puts us in a much better spot there to kind of have that club and the butt of the shaft kind of work more in front of us in transition as opposed to vertically down. So now as that club makes that transition, you're going to see the club head's going to stay behind us, which is what we want to see, but the hands and butt of the club are now going to work out in front of us. So we're here on the right. You can see how they really just kind of trying to work towards in front of us, but we got kind of the idea of that club kind of being bunched up and kind of stuck behind us at this point here. Okay, so now let's look at the point here in our swing that we worked on next. Okay, so you can see here on the right, if I draw a line, it's on your TaylorMade logo. I can read the entire TaylorMade logo. Over here, wearing the same kind of hat, I can't see the TaylorMade logo at all. Right? So we know a struggle with too is that you kept your head really tilted really far to the right, right? And because your head was so turned to the right and behind you like that, it shifted all of your path and everything out to the right, right? So that's basically where your eye line was looking there. Now with the stick in the ground, we're kind of getting you the sensation that was kind of more tracing that line and kind of staying nice and in tune. You feel like it was more looking over there, eye-wise, and you're looking more like over here, just with your right eye. That helped that head turn with the body and help the path not get so far into out. Okay, so now we start to have that club transition through here. Right, on the left, it's going to come down that right forearm beautifully, get back in front of us, be more parallel to where we're trying to go. And now the eyeliner kind of matching again, just nice and parallel. We kind of get over here. All right, the club's trying to work on it in front of us, but I can still see your TaylorMade logo. And this is where you can start seeing how much you're really kind of chasing down the target line and how much you're trying to really kind of push that golf ball a bunch, which is fine. But the issue is that you tried from here, either turn the club face over a bunch, and then because your head was pointed so far to the right, your upper body really wasn't turning at all and was kind of just basically stuck at this point. So you can kind of see there just how much your arms are kind of trying to chase that way, but your chest and your sternum really aren't turning as much. Over here on the left, as we start going through, you're getting a lot more rotation, especially through the shot. The club head's not chasing so far down the line. You're still trying to keep your head down for too long there, but again, it's a lot different, kind of cleaner look. So going on that, keep working on that backswing at the top of that backswing there, getting that club to be in a lot more powerful spot at the top of our backswing, the better wrist set, better right arm position, and better connection between the left arm and upper chest. And then on the way down, making sure that we're getting that head to kind of work in relationship with our body and not kind of leaving it behind so much and kind of have it tilted to the right. All right, bud, let me know if that kind of helps out and keep working from there. Swing's looking great on the left, and it's looking a lot more natural like it was doing when we were working with each other, like 6 months back. All right, bud, keep enjoying playing some good golf, and we'll see you then. Stay in touch.